If you're in the startup world, the founder is pretty much always the engine, right? But what happens when that engine starts to, well, burn out the rest of the car? Today, we're going to talk about why a founder's greatest strengths can actually become their team's biggest weaknesses. It's a problem that can silently kill a company from the inside out. Okay, let's get into it.
And the stakes here are just incredibly high. Get this, a staggering 65% of high-potential startups don't fail because of the market or their product. Nope, they literally implode because of co-founder conflict. And think about that for a second. That number doesn't even touch on the wider team breakdowns. It tells you pretty clearly that the real challenge is almost always the people. This quote just nails the central problem, doesn't it? It's this total paradox. That relentless drive, those gut feelings, the ability to pivot on a dime. Those are founders' superpowers. They're absolutely essential for getting a company off the ground. But, as we're about to see, those exact same traits can create utter chaos when you're trying to build a stable team that can actually scale. So, let's break down exactly how this disconnect actually happens. We're going to unpack the 5 most common ways that things fall apart between a founder and their team. Because really, understanding these is the first step to ever being able to fix them. All right, first up is what we're calling the mind-reading expectation. Look, founders live and breathe their vision 24/7. It's like a movie playing in their head, crystal clear. And they just assume it's that clear for everyone else. But, without being told, the team is basically flying blind. They end up just executing tasks, but they completely miss the why behind it all, which is the most important part. And this leads to a classic disconnect. What a founder sees as agility, a smart, quick pivot to grab an opportunity, the team just experiences as chaos. Suddenly, all their projects are thrown out, their workflows are a mess, and pretty soon, they get hesitant to fully commit to anything. The founder then sees this as a lack of hustle or ownership, and that gap between them just gets wider and wider. Then you've got the founder shadow. And this one is tough because it often comes from a good place, but it's when a founder actually prevents their team from succeeding. They either micromanage everything, and hey, if the founder is always in the kitchen tasting the soup, the chefs are going to stop trying to perfect the recipe. Or they become a total bottleneck. Every single decision has to go through them, which just kills the team's momentum. Oh man, this next breakdown is such a classic hiring mistake. You hire for impressive skills instead of what the company actually needs at its current stage. The mindsets are just worlds apart. You might hire some brilliant executive who's a genius at managing a $10 million budget, but they're totally lost when they have to personally go out and hustle for the company's first 100 customers. Your team might look perfect on paper, but it doesn't have that scrappy DNA you need to survive. And the final breakdown is the resentment gap. This one is subtle, but it is so powerful. A founder has everything on the line, right? Their money, their reputation, their whole identity. And they expect that same 2 a.m. fire from their team. But let's be real, for an employee, it's a job. A very important job, maybe, but still a job. Expecting someone to have a founder's mindset when they don't have a founder's equity, well, that's just a recipe for resentment. Okay, so that's a lot of doom and gloom. That's how things go wrong. But just pointing out the problems is kind of pointless without a path forward. The good news is there's a system to get this right. So let's look at a framework built on 3 core pillars designed to turn all that friction into a foundation for a truly bulletproof team. The pillars are pretty simple, but they're incredibly powerful. Knowledge, manpower, and money. It's a strategic process. It starts with systemizing your vision, then finding the right people, and finally making sure their incentives are totally aligned with the company's success. So let's break each one down. Pillar number 1, knowledge, is all about ending that reactive, we need a body in this seat now kind of hiring. Instead of just filling slots, you design a real system. You create hiring filters that screen specifically for the things you really need. A sense of ownership, real alignment with your mission, and a good mix of skills across tech, sales, and ops. This directly fights that mind-reading problem by building a team that's on the same page from day one. The second pillar, manpower, directly solves that whole skills versus stage problem we talked about. The focus here is sourcing people who are a perfect fit for where the company is right now. You're not just hiring a resume, you're hiring a person who you know is going to thrive in your current environment, whether that's scrappy and chaotic or structured and scaling. And the third pillar, money, is how you close that resentment gap. It's actually pretty simple. If you want a founder's mindset, you gotta offer a founder's stake. By structuring incentives and equity the right way, you tie the team's personal financial success directly to the company's big wins. That aligns everyone and creates real, genuine ownership. So when you actually implement these pillars, the whole dynamic just shifts. Your team stops being your biggest potential liability, and it becomes your single greatest competitive advantage, totally ready to scale with you. And this is why it all matters so much. According to VCs, the majority of startup failures, we're talking 55%, are because of internal friction. That is more than running out of cash, and it's more than not finding a market for your product. Getting the team right isn't just a nice to have. It is the most critical job for survival and success. So I'll leave you with this question. Take a hard look at your own organization, whether you're a founder or you're on the team, and just ask yourself, is this team truly built to accelerate the vision? Or is there some unspoken friction that's slowly, quietly dragging it all down? The answer? Well, it could change everything.